G'day and welcome to the Performance by Design Institute. My name is Emil Studham and I'm excited to take you through this explainer video that will show you how to use the Performance by Design Institute inside your organization and take the chance out of your culture by enabling you to systematically reflect on how you're getting your results with your teammates, practice real talk with your teammates, and ultimately build those strong personal and professional relationships and bring those behaviors of your culture code to life. So let's get straight into how we use the Performance by Design Institute and particularly the team training section. So you can log into the Institute by just simply going to our website, or you may have the direct link to the actual Institute page. So either or works, okay? Each organization we work will have their company name and a password. Enter that and then log in and it'll take you to the main page, okay? The area where we're going to focus on today is the team training section. But just to be aware, you also have the performance connection section in the middle, okay, as well as the leaders library at the bottom. But again, we're going to focus on the team training section, and you'll be set up inside of your organization to regularly meet at a certain cadence, often every 2 to 3 weeks, to go through one of these team training modules, okay? I'm going to take you through this video explaining how to use the sessions and also all the different buttons there are now, but it's a very simple process, so let's get straight into it. Alrighty, so the first thing once you've logged in is it's important that you bring up your code or have your culture code visible as you're going to use it a lot in the modules, okay? So your actual code might look like a Word document right now with your purpose, values, and behaviors. You may have defined your team identity. We don't know where you are exactly in your journey with the Performance by Design system. It may be made into a poster like this one here for us, or it may be in an Excel document, and it may not be completely refined and complete, much like this team here. Whatever the case, have the version of your code visible for you to see and use through the sessions, okay? Once you've got that, simply enough, let's say we're going to do session 1, which is often the session we start with any organization. The order of the modules will change between team to team based on your specific needs. But we often start every team with the introduction session, which you may have already done now as well, okay? First thing, once you're in there, whether you're in a room together with your teammates or doing it virtually, it doesn't matter. The Institute works both ways. So you would download the task download. Now, if you're together, your culture captain who's running the session may have already these printed out and then a worksheet inside of the room. Otherwise, we download the task. That takes you to a Word document, which is specific to today's session, okay? Then you simply follow the gold path, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So step 1, take 3 minutes to fill out the following performance connection rep questions, okay? What are you grateful for and why? Your biggest win this last period of time might be a week or 2, and insert the behavior that you displayed to get that win. So the idea here, ladies and gentlemen, is we're connecting our results to our behaviors. If you've got a good result, you've lived a code behavior, okay? Then your teammates shout out. A big part of building those strong relationships and a high-performing culture is that recognition piece, that 4-to-1 ratio. So here's an opportunity to sit back and reflect and recognize and acknowledge a fellow teammate, okay? Now, a lot of people ask the grateful one. That can be business or personal. It doesn't have to necessarily be connected to the code, but practicing gratitude is a wonderful way to start anything, to be honest, okay? Once you've filled that out, you take 2 minutes to share with your peers. Now, if you're in a group of 7 or more, we would recommend you split the group up. So when you share, it's a group of 3 or 4 or 2 groups of 4, depending on the number in the room. Anything over 6 people, we want to break it up. So 7 or more is the general rule we like to go with there. Okay, so you've reflected and then you've connected. Section 3, step 3, watch the session video. Okay, so simply press the button there, up pops the video, and away we go. Again, if you're in the room together, you can watch and listen together. If you're virtually, mute your computer and watch it individually. Beautiful. They all look very much the same. We move between screen and screen to share the fundamentals of the PBD system. Beautiful. Okay, fantastic. Then Following the goal again, you've watched the video, then you take 5 minutes to complete the following exercise. And again, the person running the session, we advise you to use a timer to keep yourself on track. We don't want the sessions to go over 45 minutes. And the better you get at them, the more you do them, they'll break down to even under 30 certain times, okay? Once you've then filled out the reflection questions, it's time to connect again. And again, take 2 to 3 minutes to share your answers through these questions. And again, if the group's over 7, split in 2, okay? If it's over 12, split in 3. We don't want the sessions to last, an hour and a half, okay? Now, a couple of things to note. As you go through the exercises, we have these extra videos here, the watch tutorials. Sometimes the exercises on the worksheet are a bit more detailed than just a couple of simple questions. We'll have you practicing real talk in some of the sessions, okay? So if you ever get stuck as a group and need to know more about how to actually run the exercise, we created a series of video tutorials that explains the exercise in more detail, and they only go for about a minute or so, okay? Running through the exercise itself in more detail to give you clarity on how to execute, okay? Beautiful. And then the other thing we wanted to mention here is through these questions and the exercises in each of the modules and the training sessions, things will come up. You may see patterns in the conversation that bring an issue to the forefront. We would recommend staying in dialogue, and if you can take an action step away from these sessions, that is fantastic. So if you need that extra 5 to 10 minutes to discuss and stay in dialogue around that particular issue, we would recommend that. Now, if there's not enough time to do that, we would have you consider scheduling a time post the session to make sure you deal with that issue. As we always say, don't let the small things become big things. The idea behind the Institute is really to allow you inside of your team and organization to reflect on your performance. And again, using your code as the reference point for those conversations. Are we living our values and behaviors? That reflection piece is large because we gain our new learnings and insights from that reflection process. And it gets strengthened when we actually then connect and converse with our teammates, okay? So the reflection piece is big. It also allows us to practice real talk. As you'll see in some of the sessions, how to practice real talk is one of our sessions. And in that one, you'll actually do some small group peer-to-peer real talk training, okay? And again, any challenges, watch the tutorial. It'll take you through the experience itself. And then ultimately, by doing the reflection and practicing real talk, we're going to be putting those dollars into that trust bank, building those strong personal and professional relationships, which is really the cornerstone and foundation of all the great teams that we work with, whether it's professional sport, corporate, not-for-profit. Strong relationships underpin our ability to become the best team that we can be. And then ultimately, if we do that well, the behaviors of our code will come to life. And that's really where our strong, high-performing culture becomes embedded, because these behaviors of our code become the habits of our organization. And again, our culture is derived by the behaviors we accept and reward of each other, okay? So that's basically everything, ladies and gentlemen. There's the code. We log in using your sign-in name and password. Have your code present and visible. If you're at a home office or at your desk, we would always recommend you have your code visible so you can see. Signals to remember. As signage is the way I look at it. Signals to remember, okay? Download the task, follow the goal path, and off you go. Again, any questions, comments, or observations, please reach out to your Performance by Design designer or one of our team members. Happy to help you through this process so we don't leave your culture to chance.